From Radio DePaul, Chicago's college connection.
My father spent 3 years restoring this car. It is his love. It is his passion.
I'm Michael Cera, and human skin is my passion.
I learned to feel things I've never felt before. Love, jealousy, passion for disemboweling.
Look at all the passion on that wall.
Well, jazz flute has always been a small passion of mine.
It's a bathroom. It's not just a bathroom, David. It's a passion project.
My passion project. Destroying someone else's passion project.
This is Passion Project with your host, Peyton Basden.
Engaging thrusters. That's how I feel whenever I move sliders on this board.
It's very impressive.
Yeah, I'm commanding my own fleet. I've never seen Star Trek, in its entirety, in, any form, but I imagine this is exactly what it feels like to be Captain Kirk. Speaking of Captain Kirk, he's a captain piloting the USS Enterprise. In not too dissimilarly, I'm a captain piloting this combination radio show podcast.
Okay, cool. I was wondering where that was going.
Right?
Yeah.
It's a very layered metaphor.
Yes, and it was very, very effective.
Thank you. Yeah. Welcome back to Passion Project, guys.
Woo!
It's a very special day, and the fact that it's a Thursday and it's a new day, which means we have a new guest, which is my favorite part of the show.
Hell yeah.
Every single week. And this week's guest, what can I say about her that hasn't already been said?
Oh, enough.
Visionary.
Oh.
Artist.
Thank you.
Creative.
Mm-hmm.
Author of her own future.
That is crazy, and I agree. I agree 100%. I want to say playwright of my future.
Playwright. Play wrong.
If you will.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you need that.
You
have to have the play wrongs to know the playwrights.
Exactly. And maybe play lefts. Whoa. Who knows?
That was crazy.
Yeah, I'm spitballing here, and it's all working. Who are you?
Me?
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Alejandra Tamez. Everyone calls me Ale, though. I'm a BFA 3 acting major at the theater school at DePaul University, and it's pretty epic. I love it. I love my school. I love my coursework. It's just the best time, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
It's great.
I love coursework also.
Yeah.
I'll be honest.
When you're an acting major, it's like I've got Shakespeare due on this day.
Yeah.
I've got my dialect scene due on this day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just playing around the whole week.
Just acting,
Literally.
discovering, exploring.
Exactly. A lot of reflections.
A lot of reflections. We're really big on reflection on this show. I don't know if you knew this or not. And part of that new spirit of reflection is reflected in our new segment called The Passion Probe.
Passion Probe.
What? In this segment, I'm going to ask you a series of questions so the audience can better understand your perspective on life and what you're bringing to the table. And they can be like, wow, this is so relatable and awesome and cool.
That's awesome. I'm a little nervous. I'm a yapper.
There's some toughies on here.
I love the toughies. Give them all to me.
Okay. This is a hard one first up. Are you a prefer of cats or dogs?
Oh, okay. Well, okay. I prefer dogs, I think, but I think I am a cat person.
Interesting.
I feel like having a cat's better for me in the long run.
Like it jives with your lifestyle.
Yeah, I feel like I'm just really bad at getting up early, making sure my dog I have a dog, and my family 100% takes care of it more than I ever could.
That's the problem with dogs is they always need to eat.
They always
and go
need
outside.
to eat and go outside, and sometimes it doesn't align with my schedule.
Right. And that's very selfish of them.
I know. Yeah, it's horrible. I can't own a dog. It wouldn't work out, I feel like.
Cats are on their own schedule. They do their own thing.
See, I just have to take care of the litter, I feel like, and make sure it doesn't get sick.
Scoop it out. Yeah. That's doable.
Right?
It's doable.
Because they take care of themselves.
Mm-hmm. Okay. We're about to ramp things up.
Okay.
Get a little more specific. Do you have a favorite holiday? We're amidst the holiday season as we're recording this. We just finished Halloween. Thanksgiving is on the horizon, and beyond that is Christmas, unless you're crazy and Christmas started 2 days ago for you.
I know. I walked past a couple of stores, and they already have trees out. It's like, you missed one, Queen. I don't know what to tell you. You're not there yet. But I feel like my favorite holiday, I don't want to say Christmas, because I feel like
Right, everybody says
everybody,
Christmas. Everybody
and
says
I'm
Christmas.
not everybody.
Mm-mm.
No, but I feel like Halloween. Honestly, I love dressing up,
Good answer.
and I always like the niche costumes.
Any highlights from this year's Halloween for you?
Oh my goodness. Oh my God, I was Winry from Full Metal Alchemist.
Wait, awesome.
Dude, and it's niche, right? Like people were
Right.
like, "Who are you?" But as soon as I told them, it clicked, locked in, and then I was the coolest person there.
Right.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to be, but it just happens.
It just happens, especially when you're decked out.
I'm decked out. I brought a wrench, man. It wasn't the right wrench. It was like a different one, but I
was
brought
a
one.
wrench. The
it
thought
was
was
a
there.
wrench. I had a tool with me.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Didn't throw a wrench into the plan. Awesome.
That was great. That was so good.
Moving on.
Please.
Do you have a favorite number?
Oh, wow. 21, actually.
Ooh,
No.
answer.
Wait, no, yes, 21. 21 to 23, I feel like, are my favorite, like,
numbers.
numbers.
Bunch of numbers.
Yes.
What specifically about these three numbers appeal
So-
to you?
You know, when you're in elementary, or maybe this isn't universal, but, like, the locker numbers, I guess, or, like, we were given when we were younger a certain number, and it was the number of, you know, where we were at on the roster. And since my last name is Tamez, I was always one of the last ones. So I was always 21, 22, or 23. Consistently. Always one of those. And so, and like that was the number that we'd line up for, like in line to go to the bathroom, to go do this, to go to PE. So it's like, that's my guy.
Wow.
That's my number.
21, 22, or 23.
Those are my numbers.
Exactly. Resonating with any of those specifically today? Is today a 23 day?
I feel like today's a 22 day. Yesterday was big.
Big.
Today is 22.
Right. Tomorrow
23. Tomorrow is 23, I guess.
Tomorrow is 23.
But and then so on and so forth. But
And then it keeps going. It repeats.
deadass. But
That makes sense.
Today is 22.
Awesome. Last question.
What's up?
This one will really, you really have
I'm
to
really
rack
excited.
your brain
I'm
for
very
this.
excited.
Would you rather, at any moment,
Uh-huh.
have the ability
Oh gosh.
to turn into a bird or a fish?
Oh my goodness. Bird, duh. Bird, duh. Bird, easy, duh. Why would you want to be a fish? Question mark.
I'm going to be so real with you in this moment.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
I think bird is like the best answer to this question.
Right? Devil's advocate, though. I love water. I'm a Pisces baby. I have to be near the
Right.
water.
Right.
So I can imagine, you know, the urge to just want to slip and slide and move freely.
The ocean is gorgeous.
The ocean,
Some of those reefs.
I mean, it's gorgeous when you're in the shallow area, but I feel like the deep
the deep
the
depths.
deep sea is.
Yeah.
I don't want to go near that. But like the sky, I feel like I would want to soar and explore.
Right. I can see the sky. There's no mystery. I know
There's
exactly what's
no
going on.
mystery. Exactly.
But surprisingly, a number of people have answered this question fish, and I see the appeal, but think about this.
Okay.
Because there's a follow-up to this.
Oh, okay.
Like, what bird specifically? And, like, my answer to that would probably be, like, a duck. A mallard, if you will, because you can fly and you can swim, and they go underwater.
They do.
Like, I get the
Diverse.
best. I can go on the land, in the sea, or in the air. So I'm
Or
like,
in-
I feel like I'm great value here.
You've got it all, honestly.
In what bird speaks to you?
Okay. I don't know. Okay, cardinals. Cardinals. There are cardinals here.
State bird of Illinois, yes.
No, it's state bird of Illinois.
It is.
Oh my god, I didn't know that.
Yeah, fun
Okay,
fact.
well that makes sense because I see them only here, and I see them all the time, especially during this weather. And because I don't see them at all where I'm from, I'm from McAllen, Texas. Plug.
Shout out.
Shout out 956. And basically, I mean, every time I see one, I feel like I stop and I just look for minutes.
It's always an experience. They're gorgeous.
They're gorgeous, and they're just so. I feel like I can't speak too. Like I look at them and it's like I have to be quiet.
Right. It's a phenomenon. It was always explained to me growing up that like when you see a cardinal, it's a loved one visiting you,
And that's so special. I love it. I love that so much.
looking out for you. And I'm glad that's like a semi-universal experience that when you see a cardinal, you're like,
There's something
Let me-
about them that like you just
right.
wow. Like there's a presence there.
Yeah. And it's a present. A gift.
It's a gift.
We love you, Cardinals.
Yes, Cardinals.
Not the St. Louis Cardinals.
No,
Sorry.
No, the state bird of Illinois.
State bird of Illinois. Bird cardinal. Thank you for participating
Of course.
in this week's Passion Probe.
Passion
I
Probe.
feel like I understand you on a much deeper level.
Exactly. Those are good questions.
Thank you. And now it's time
Oh my gosh.
to dig in, to take out our little shovel, our little spade,
I'm very pumped.
and unearth some deeper truths. But not just about anything, something very specific today.
Yeah.
What are we here to talk about?
And Peyton and I will tell you, we are here to talk about movie musicals.
What?
What?
This is the first I'm hearing of this.
Really?
Yeah, this is crazy. Movie musicals.
Movie musicals.
Tell me more.
Okay, so basically, if you didn't know, a movie musical is a movie that is a musical. It's
Awesome.
The storytelling is done with song and dance, and it furthers the plot in a very artistic way that I feel, honestly, I feel like some of the best storytelling is done through musicals.
Amazing.
I'm sorry. That's
Amazing.
just, I'm very, that's a big opinion I have.
Pro musical.
Pro musical. I think it's one of the greatest mediums, and I'll start and end there for right now.
Full thought. Musicals are awesome. I gathered from that you're a fan of stage musicals.
Yes.
Very different experience than a movie musical.
Mm-hmm.
So, how do you feel for you, like the difference between those two formats work? There's a particular joy about seeing like live theater happen in front of you, but also movies are awesome and a lot easier to watch.
Yeah, they're very accessible.
They're very accessible. So, what are your like pros and cons between the two formats? What are you drawn to?
You know, fantastic question, because I feel like I'm still trying to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
I feel there is an answer somewhere in there, but I feel like sometimes I get mixed up with what I personally like and dislike.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, because I feel like there are certain stories that need to be told through the stage.
Mm-hmm.
But then there are also some that I feel like only work through movies.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I take Chicago, for instance. I think the staged musical sucks. Like, I think it is so bad. Like, it's so bad. But the movie, no, because they know how to work in those shots. They know how to do juxtaposition with the songs and music and dance versus the actual plot and what's happening, like, within the text. You know what I mean?
That is something that I think filming allows you to do so much more easily, is you can take it scene by scene. You can take it halfway across the world. You can take it, because like in Chicago, like all these numbers are kind of their own thing.
Exactly.
And you really get to see that in the movie.
And I think what's so effective with that is that they kept the theater elements to them, because every number that you have, there are dancers on a stage and there are spotlights, and there's Queen Latifah comes out and she's singing for a theater of people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's also why that movie musical is so effective, because they stayed true to the experience of having an audience and performing for someone, because that makes all the difference, I feel like. When a movie musical really feels like it's a performance.
That there's spectacle.
Yes.
That's the beauty of live theater, is the spectacle.
Exactly, 100%.
It's the event that you're going to see. And I think all the best movie musicals capture that. Recently, Joker 2 came out. That's a movie musical.
Gasp.
And I think the reason it suffers is because it hates the fact that it's a musical, and it's really embarrassed about it.
Why? Well, I haven't seen it, I should say.
I have not seen it in its entirety. Shout out TikTok for some clips.
Spoiler, come on.
I know what happens, and I'm going to tell you.
I've seen it all through TikTok.
Yeah, but like so many times in that movie, they start a musical number and then they give up. And I think it's so funny because there's so many shots in the trailer of these beautifully staged numbers, these beautiful like set pieces.
Oh yeah,
that are just not in the film. They did not include them in the film.
Oh, I get you.
Which we can speak on this. I feel like sometimes there's like a stigma against the movie musical. Like some people are not into it, and like some films aren't advertised like they are.
I think that was the problem with Mean Girls, the musical. Because it was not advertised as a musical. The only people who knew it was going to be a movie musical, literally the theater community. And so people who are excited for Mean Girls, this reboot, this new cast, Renee Rapp, right?
Shout out, yeah.
They went into the theater and they were like, "Oh, I'm so excited to see this," and then they're singing ?
Yeah.
And I feel like it took a lot of people off guard, and you can't go into it with that mindset. I think trailers and advertising is still so important, but I feel like a lot of people forget about them now.
Right.
Because I love to watch trailers.
Trailers are awesome.
Yeah.
The one that keeps getting me is there's that new Lion King movie coming out.
Gosh.
Mufasa. Whatever it is.
No, stop. I don't think they should do it.
I don't think they should either. But here's what's getting me is they advertise in the trailer. It says like music by Lin-Manuel Miranda or whatever.
Yes.
But they don't show any of the music in the trailer. Like they don't show any musical numbers
They
or they
can't do
don't
that.
say that like this is going to be a musical, but they are advertising that like Lin is doing the music for it.
I feel like you just have to be upfront about it.
Right. But
Let them know what they're getting, the audience know what they're getting into.
what's to be said though about the fact that like they're embarrassed to like
Yeah.
do we like I feel like I know people who when you say this is a movie musical
Mm-hmm.
they are less inclined to go, and I think that's an interesting phenomenon.
I feel like people. This is very hard. This is definitely me having to play devil's advocate because I cannot imagine. But
Right.
I cannot imagine anyone.
If there was a movie musical, I will be there.
I will be there. I don't know. Honestly, I really don't know what it is about the fact that performers are singing and dancing to further a plot that makes people so against it. I feel like it's just the whole theater, and theater is very gay, and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, where are you? What time are you living
Right,
in? Actually, like,
right.
where are you from?
I've never seen somebody like leave a musical sadder than they were before.
Exactly.
Unless that's the point, and the work has like deeply affected you.
I know a lot of people are like, I don't like musicals because why are they singing?
Because they have big feelings.
They have big feelings, and that's the way to express them. I don't know how to explain it to you. Oh my gosh. Also, I grew up watching a bunch of music videos growing up on YouTube, just going through like all the Lady Gaga music videos and stuff.
Awesome.
Like you
Yeah.
have to. And so I feel like that's also why movie musicals specifically, it's because it's the editor's art form. Like you can, there's so many different ways that you can follow a through line and also like get so many different things. Have you seen the In the Heights movie?
I have seen the In the Heights movie.
I think that was so good. I thought it was so good, and I thought all the musical, like the dance numbers were so fun and cool, but like in the opening number, you have all the different shots of just regular people, and then the cuts of people dancing, and then the cuts of people singing and talking dialogue, da-da-da-da. Now it's a scene, and it just flowed so well because of the editing versus the actual musical. I mean, it's definitely like an opening number. You have people coming through. Here's where they dance. They exit. People come in. They're doing the scene. Da-da-da-da. They start singing. We get into a bigger group of ensemble, and then boom, it's done.
I think that's something you need to do
Yeah.
in a movie musical is take advantage. If you're adapting a stage musical
Yeah.
to film, use that to your advantage. Like in the Heights film version, they like do things that you couldn't do on a stage. Like the
Exactly.
scene where like they're dancing on the side of a building.
Yeah.
I'm like, thank you for trying something new, and thank you
Yeah.
for like trying something different and like showing what this medium does. And that flow in the editing is like what makes or breaks it. I find in a film.
Yeah. It's just, I feel like if your film is this medium where you can really expand, so why wouldn't you? I feel like, and that's why I personally wasn't a fan of the like, why are they dancing on a roof, whatever. But big feelings, I get it.
Yeah,
But,
when I'm in love, I dance on buildings.
I feel like I'm dancing
right
on the side of a building, but also, yeah, I appreciate that they took it to another level that the stage version actually could not do. You know, and I feel like Mean Girls. Did you see the movie?
I've seen parts of. I've seen Mean Girls the original. I've seen Mean Girls on Broadway. I've not seen Mean Girls the movie musical.
The movie musical. It's interesting. I enjoyed the numbers a lot. I thought it was a big step forward for movie musicals in terms of like musical numbers because there are some moments where they just use the space and the camera work to get in between, and like they really did keep the performance aspects. Like there was so much choreography, ensemble work, and it moved so seamlessly.
Yes, those one takes in like movie musicals, phenomenal.
Perfect.
Always
Perfect.
And it's an interesting thing because when you see something on a stage, you're watching all of it,
Yeah.
all of the time. But when you've got a single camera,
There's so much. Yeah.
You choose what to focus on, which I think is always really interesting. What the filmmaker picks to really focus on.
It's true.
And like what you see through that. And then there's always that, like, in your one take, there's always that beautiful zoom out moment where, like, oh, everybody's going crazy.
Yeah, 100%. Did you watch High School Musical?
Oh, I've seen High School Musical, High School Musical 2, High School Musical 3, Sharpay's Fabulous Adventure.
I've seen that too, yeah.
And High School Musical, the musical, the series.
Okay, so I watched the first season of that.
I think I watched 1, 2, and a half of 3.
Okay, there's 4 now.
I believe it. I don't
know.
After O-Rod was gone, I was gone. I'll say it.
Okay, and you're valid for that because she kind of disappeared in season 2, and that's when I stopped watching.
Yeah, she was one of my favorites.
And it's like I also didn't really know who Olivia Rodrigo was yet, but it's like I'm used to this character, and now she's gone.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh. Okay.
The central relationship in your show you're getting rid of?
Yeah, that was bold. But they moved on, you know?
They moved on. But
seamlessly.
Back to its roots. High School Musical.
High School Musical.
Generational film.
100%. I think High School Musical 100% changed the person that I am now. Like, if I lived my life without High School Musical, I don't think I'd be doing theater, honestly. It's just, I feel like that's where a lot of my love for movie musicals and just musicals in general, just, I don't know what it is. It's just, there's so much feeling and emotion when you can, I feel like we have this class called Movement to Music.
Yeah.
And we take it when we're second years, right? And it's just, you play music and we learn to like just move, and we use it as a source of like creativity and what's the word? I'll say improv, lack of a better term, right? And it's really helpful in character work because if I know a certain amount about this character and then I play a song that I feel like fits the vibe of the scene, and then I just move how I feel like my impulses want me to move, and then I just keep in mind all the stuff from the character. It's like my mind just goes to a different place because my body is moving and I'm focusing on something else. And it's just such a great outlet for expression that I feel like it's silly not to use it. You know? Like, there's so much that can be done through people coming together and just, like, being in sync, you know? Moving in sync and doing something with enthusiasm and, like, singing, too. Like, that vocal power, you feel that in a room.
Yeah.
And, like, you feel that when you're watching it.
And
I think those movies did a great job of, like, ensemble and just... I don't know how to...
Community. Camaraderie through music.
Exactly.
Which is what gets me, like, when people say they don't like musicals or don't like movie musicals, it's like, I know you listen to music every day. So what's the beef?
Exactly.
Because everybody loves music. There's something inherently universally relatable about music as an experience. I will offer you a question I'd love to get your perspective on. It seems to me more often that when you adapt a stage musical to a movie, it is oftentimes less successful than a musical that was made to be a movie.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like, would you? What are your thoughts? Like, would you want to speak on that? Because it's interesting to me that when you have some, like, because that's another thing right now is we're taking all these established properties and we're like, let's make an adaptation of this. So it makes you feel like it would make sense to be like, oh, there's a Wicked movie coming out. It's going to be huge. It's going to be big because we're adapting this popular thing. But more often the most successful ones are original musicals or like original works. Think like High School Musical, like that was incepted to be a movie.
Yeah. And I think that's why they're so good too. Like they did, I mean, when you have it in mind, when you have the medium in mind, it's automatically going to be more fleshed out. I feel like, because I think I saw a quote somewhere recently, but I feel like theater, because you have the question when you're a playwright, they're like, hey, why does this need to be a play?
Yes.
Because sometimes I've had someone be like, oh, that should be for a movie. And I have trouble seeing the difference sometimes, but I think inherently theater is specifically for things that are, I want to say more real, but in a very in a very intimate way. You know what I mean? Like, these people need to have this conversation. This needs to happen, and we need people to be present to feel that tension.
Yeah.
Versus I can just watch this from the comfort of my home. You know what I mean?
Right.
I feel like plays always, there needs to be the audience there.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like when you're making a staged musical, it's like you're also limited. You only have like your lights and you see the whole thing and you have the sound.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like everyone can see the stage from all angles. So how can every audience member have the same experience, kind of?
Mm-hmm.
If they're sitting somewhere else versus the person in front row.
Right.
So it's like you have all those working together for a specific product.
Mm-hmm.
And that can't just be filmed,
right?
And put on TV. And I will say, I do like the pro shots that are coming out.
Mm-hmm. Those are big.
Loved the Newsies pro shot.
Mm-hmm.
Legally Blonde on MTV. I'm a fan. I watch that so often.
I think the pro shots are awesome. Quick sidebar.
Mm-hmm.
When they do those yearly like musicals, like John Legend, Jesus Christ Superstar, or when they do any opinions on like these live studio audience musicals?
I mean, I don't know. Like, who's doing them too? Like, I don't
know why they started. I don't know who they're for. I've seen a few.
The lives, like do you remember Grease Live?
Yeah.
And what was the one that they had before that? It was a Grease.
They did Grease. They did Peter Pan.
Oh, whoa.
I remember Peter Pan with Christopher Walken as Captain Hook, and that was so funny to me that I'm like, okay, this is awesome. I don't care what you say. The one that always sticks in my head is The Grinch with Matthew Morrison as the Grinch.
The Grinch.
That was a visceral experience.
Yeah.
But like,
I think it's just a fun way to bring people together.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like take some of the biggest stars and have them all work together. And I think that's why, I mean, theater is just it's a different experience for a performer. Because, I mean, you can film movies out of order and different locations, yada, yada, yada. But when you do a play, you're committing
you start,
that night.
You finish.
You finish it. And if you go different places, that's great.
Right.
As long as you finish.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like performers will always want to kind of return to the stage sometimes. And I feel like those lives are really good to get people really interested in theater, in the stage.
I think live theater is one of those things that people forget they like.
Yeah. Yes.
And then it's like, oh wait, I forgot how cool this is and how like inexperienced this is. I should go see more live theater.
There's nothing can beat being in a room and having people sing and just like it's overwhelming with the lights.
You feel it.
And everyone and the audience around you, and they're going through this experience with you, and how everything might be different the next performance. Like you're getting something, and it will never be done again.
Mm-hmm.
It's special.
Yeah, there's again that huge spectacle element, which I think is a lot harder to do on film because film spectacle is so much different. When we have movies of like aliens fighting superheroes and everything explodes, but then they go back in time and do it again and it explodes again.
Yeah.
And like we see all this, we're conditioned to see all this crazy stuff on film because we know anything can happen.
Yeah.
It's so crazy when it happens on stage because we cannot lie to ourselves. We're like, these are real people in front of me. How are they doing it? So that's why I think it's an interesting challenge for movie musicals to capture that spectacle. And I think they do a lot of that work through the tightness of it, the editing, using the medium in different ways.
You know what?
It's a strange challenge.
And I'll raise you.
Mm.
I'll raise you animation.
Oh, yes.
Because film it just raises the bar when it comes to like world building. You can just do whatever you want, but I think animation is where you can actually limitless.
Mm-hmm.
That is a limitless form, and I feel so. People who say that they don't like animation, I'm always just like, what is wrong with you?
Why do you hate life and happiness?
Why? Because you are given something that cannot be done anyway else in like real life. Like literally, worlds are at your fingertips because it's all like it's illustrated. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like movie musicals that are animated are always gonna be so good. Prince of Egypt.
Oh yes.
Oh my gosh, I think that's one of the best ones ever. I feel like they just did such a good job. The music so powerful. And there's not so much dancing in it, right? But like, there's a lot of people, an ensemble community in this story, and they come together and they move together, even on screen, even if it is animated. And I feel like it just makes the original story, which is already powerful, it just amplifies it because you're putting in all these different senses in. There's just no... It's perfect.
It's awesome. The animated musical has become its own genre.
It's true. Disney.
Yeah, because it's been defined. You have that original Golden Age. Your Lion Kings, your Little Mermaids, your Tarzans, which was like its own funny era because it's like, let's get this artist to do our music. And like that was the selling point.
Yeah, I was going to say, and is Tarzan a musical? I was thinking about that just before.
So they were like, guys, we got Phil Collins on
I know.
Tarzan.
He's on the phone, guys.
Yeah. He'll be there. And he wrote songs for that. It's less... Would you consider The Lion King a musical? Because, like, Just Can't Wait to Be King, like, the original animated film, like, that's an in-universe, like, done musical number.
Yeah.
But then, like, Circle of Life isn't an in-universe musical number. Like, Can You Feel the Love Tonight just plays in the background, but they're both amazing songs that happen in that movie.
See, yes, I would consider it a musical. And also because it was adapted to the stage.
And now it's a musical.
And now it's
still
solidified.
Awesome. Yeah.
But Tarzan, it's like a soundtrack.
Similarly.
But it's like music videos almost. Like the story uses the music to move somewhere else and to build and to get into a different like emotional space.
We're paying Phil Collins so much money to do this. We're going to work around what he gives us.
Exactly.
Like, there's intention there.
Because I consider it a musical, I think, in my heart of hearts.
Especially these Disney classics have had interesting lives because when I think... Like, Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, yeah.
Has, like, crazy... Like, I think these original movies are less musical than we think they are. It's like Beauty and the Beast has Be Our Guest, this huge, perfect, like, musical theater musical number. It, like, is so that. But then, like, the other songs... Like, there's, like, 2 to 3 super crazy musical numbers in that.
Wait, but also I feel like we don't remember it the same. Because I think there's so many songs in that movie than I think. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm struggling because I've seen the stage musical of Beauty and the Beast, and I think it's awesome. There's so many great songs of that. I'm like, wait.
But the movie, does it have... I think they do. I don't remember. I never watched it. Beauty and the Beast, I was never a huge fan.
That's a Beauty and the Beast and Little Mermaid, I think, are my favorite of that era.
Really?
But, like, Little Mermaid also, I think that's the best, because I think there's... Singing's a plot point in that, which I think is interesting.
True.
And I think that's why it has so many fantastic songs in it.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. It's sort of like what defines a movie musical.
Yeah.
Like Lion King has 1 or 2 in-universe, like, songs
where they, and like, do they have to sing them for it to be a musical?
Because, like, beyond that, it's choreographed numbers to the music that are playing. Like, the visuals are coordinated with the music. The actions of the characters are coordinated with the music.
Yeah.
But they can't hear the music in the movie, which is interesting.
It's
interesting. I say yes. Like, when I think Lion King, I do think movie musical.
Yeah, me too.
But it's like on this interesting line.
Yeah. Same thing where and again with Tarzan, someone asked me, they were like, well, is it a musical or is it just a really good soundtrack? And I was like, don't actually talk to me ever again. I was like, why are you asking me shit like that? But also, random question. I saw this on YouTube once. It was like a YouTube poll.
Awesome.
Hercules, right?
Love.
Good.
Love.
Good.
That's
musical.
a musical.
That is a musical.
That is a musical.
Okay. What would you say is better? Hercules music or Tarzan music?
I'm all in on Hercules.
Interesting.
I think it's better music and a better movie. I'm going to be so honest and vulnerable. I don't like Tarzan that much.
I think you need to go back and watch it.
I think I do.
I think that one gets lost on children because animals and because they don't sing and dance. It's just them doing their thing, and then you have these epic Phil Collins songs in the background.
Yeah.
But I think it definitely. I feel like people don't remember. I feel like if you go back, you might have a different opinion. But also, 100%, I feel like Hercules is just too good.
Say, I will always ride for Hercules as, like, the underrated...
It's my favorite.
Like, Golden Age sort of era Disney musical.
Yeah.
And I also think it's... Because that was, like, their movie they made to market to boys. Like, here's the boy movie about the boy who does boy stuff.
Oh,
so I watched it a lot.
That's perfect. I didn't even... Wait, you know what? You're right. That's, like... a male lead in a Disney musical, I feel like there's not.
They didn't do that. They don't do that. So, and they tried it with Hercules, and it was kind of successful because they're like, "Oh, we've been doing all these princess stuff. What happens if we make
a
boy
man,
movie?"
a
And it
god.
was awesome.
And it was beautiful and brilliant. I thought it was
It's good.
fantastic.
It's so good.
It really does hold up. And also, I feel like that does such a fantastic job of storytelling through the musical format of like, here's this exposition. We're gonna open it up with this chorus, with this ensemble. They're gonna do a number explaining to you what's
So
happening,
good.
and then the movie starts, and we're already having that preface. Like, we're already in the world when the movie actually begins.
Right.
And it does a good job of like staying with it until there's another number, and it's like it almost serves as a montage,
Right.
just to like show you that time is passing. Here's what's going on, and we're having a good time while learning about it.
Right.
And then suddenly it ends, and we're here at Act 2.
Right. Bless my soul, Herc was on a roll. It's awesome. It's so good. The way the genre has shifted, like Disney defined the genre, and it has shifted over the years. And their sort of modern animation, I think, are some of the most musical their musicals have been. But it's also interesting because I don't see Frozen being marketed as a musical until they made it into a musical. And then it's like, here's Frozen the musical on Broadway. But like the original movie was just like, this is the new Disney movie. And then there's like these wonderful songs in it. We're like, yeah, this makes sense.
I didn't realize there were going to be as many songs as there were.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Frozen, like the animated film, is such a traditional musical.
Yes.
Like just in structure and like the way the songs are and operate and like the variety. All those songs are fantastic. I love Frozen. I'll be honest.
Can I be honest?
Yeah.
Can I raise you in honesty? I think Frozen 2 is better.
Really?
Yes. Stakes get so much higher, and for me, I live for the stakes. I want to be on the edge of my seat. I want to sweat, and I want to fear.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. I love it.
Frozen 2 does that.
It does.
Awesome. Like Lost in the Woods, awesome.
Awesome number. And the way that they did that, because it's an animation and they can play with...
Yes.
I think they mimicked a lot of like 80s music.
They did, and they have the reindeer singing, and I'm like, you're doing this amazingly.
I mean, thank you. Like, honestly, thank you for playing and having fun, because I'm enjoying it as an audience member.
It's awesome.
Perfect.
Like, Moana, phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
Encanto, phenomenal.
Loved it.
See, that's the reason why, like, Encanto came out at a time where I'm like, yeah, I'm an adult. I do adult stuff. I don't watch Disney movies. I watch crazy, violent movies for adults. But the music convinced me to watch it.
So good.
Because, again, I was doom scrolling on TikTok, as I always do, and I kept getting the songs popping up. I'm like, wait, these hit.
They do.
These hit hard.
I think I heard a clip of We Don't Talk About Bruno, and I already, at this point, loved Lin-Manuel.
Yes.
I think Encanto came out on Christmas.
Around, yes.
Right?
Of that. Because
I literally stayed up and watched it illegally the day before it came out. I watched it without my family, because we had plans to watch it all together on Christmas. I think I acted like I was seeing it for the first time, because I watched it illegally.
You had to see it, yeah.
On like, I don't even remember, 1, 2, 3 movies or something, but I could not wait. I was too pumped because of that one song I heard.
Yes. And I don't think We Don't Talk About Bruno is overrated in any way. I think it is a masterpiece, and it is so fun to listen to. And again, the beauty of animation, the way they do that on the screen, I'm like, this is why you make it animated. This is why you make it a movie. Like, way to rise to the occasion.
Exactly. And I feel like Lin-Manuel, he does that a lot of like, here's this character's part, this character, now they combine, and now they're doing it together.
Yes.
And then this character gets thrown in. He does a lot of, at the end, as a climax, he's going to combine all the different motifs that these individuals have. And because it was animated, we got to see that in like such a different way that we haven't in Hamilton or in The Heights.
Right.
It was just so cool, like being following and these transitions, and suddenly we've been to 10 different places, and it's the same number.
And that's what I think serves him so well, is because what he writes is so dense that when you put that on a screen, there's so much to explore.
Yeah.
Because when I listen to those, you got the lyrics, well written. You've got the music, like you can move to that.
Mm-hmm.
But then the way things are said, when I hear it, I can, like, it sounds crazy, but I can hear the way the characters are moving and talking. Like, it's so well informed and it's so dense with this wonderful breadth of information that it works so well on the screen. Very similar in Moana. Like, when he did that too, and you're like,
he did do that with he did Moana.
He did that so well. Like, phenomenal songs in that, and like, you made Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson sound cool when he sang. Like,
Yes.
You're Welcome's a fantastic song.
It is. It really is.
And again, another perfect use of animation, like using the tattoos and
As,
like
like, a
moving around in
different,
a
like,
storytelling device.
It's so good. It's just I feel like I think the audience needs to be able to be given something else. You know, they need almost like to wake up. You know, freshen up.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like always throw them something a little different. It's always fun to have that variety and to just change it up a little bit, you know? And I think when you play with that, I feel like it's very rewarding.
Yeah.
High risk, high reward. I feel like if you think it's going to be a little weird, probably do it.
Right. That's what makes it so fun. Like the thing you're doing and commit to the format you're doing, or else it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Like, if I look at your movie and I'm like, oh, I can really tell the person who made this doesn't care, and I can really tell the person who made this is, like, really embarrassed about what they made.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I feel bad for you.
And it's like what you were saying before. I don't know why people they don't like musicals.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it's just, it really is such a good way to get you feeling all the things you need to learn something new. You know?
Yes, I know exactly.
Good way to take in new stories and lessons. I always feel like it's fun. It makes it kind of demands you to be present. You know, because it's throwing so many new things at you, and it's like, in order to enjoy it and to really be there, you have to be there.
Right.
And I don't know. It just it's so genius, I think.
I'm gonna throw you two films.
Okay.
Which I have opinions about. I'm not going to say them because I don't want to influence yours.
Okay.
Starting off with the classic La La Land. I know many people who are like, this movie changed my life. And I know a bunch of, and it's sort of advertised and like historically has been billed as a movie musical. How do you feel about that? About the film, it's like it's complex legacy.
Okay, so right off the bat, I forgot La La Land was a musical. I have to be honest. But I don't think that's a bad thing at all. I think that's actually kind of perfect, question mark.
Yes.
But I will say, La La Land, when I was watching it in theaters, I just kept feeling like overwhelmed with, this is why I love musicals. The opening number, when they had all those people on the freaking highway getting out of their cars, all dancing, and it went on and on and on. I want to be a part of a project like that so bad. I feel like that is such a cool thing to do. And I think, again, they're using the medium fantastically.
Correctly. Yeah.
And correctly. Like, you have the budget, you have all the means to get this specific shot. So why shouldn't you? Exactly. Why shouldn't you think big and go for it and execute it? And I feel like because musicals are kind of, they're in the realm of spectacle and almost like disbelief, question mark?
Yeah.
Like, there's already an air of like anything can happen. I feel like a lot of the music songs, it's only because things that they can't express need to be known to the audience. You know what I mean? Like, this character can't talk about this, but we need to know how they feel, so they're going to do a number, and it's like, oh, I'm there with you.
It uses music in an interesting way in its storytelling.
100%. And I think those songs are fantastic. I think La La Land, I don't think it changed my life. I'm going to be honest. I mean, I've seen my mama put me on a lot of good movies.
Right.
But it's one of, I think, I love that movie. I love it, and I will cry every time.
Yeah.
Not going to lie.
When I say, like, musical theater, musical movie, one take, just look up Another Day of Sun from La La Land, that opening.
Oh my gosh.
Insider secret, it was actually 2 different shots.
Interesting.
And if you can figure out where they cut it, you can DM Passion Project Show and I'll give you a prize.
Oh my gosh.
But it's awesome. But like, I think, again, talking about like musicals that were made from the ground up, I don't remember La La Land as a musical. I don't think of it as a musical, which I think is so interesting because it's that opening number is so musical, but then you don't really see much like that throughout. There's like 1 or 2 numbers like that, but also music exists in the story.
Yes.
Because like Ryan Gosling is a musician. So it's like such an interesting relationship, and it's so...
And I think it's so smart, too.
Yeah.
How they're able to tie it in that way, that it's always this constant, so it never feels out of place.
Yes.
Because something that I don't enjoy is when a song feels like it came out of nowhere. And I feel like that's why people might not like musicals, because it's like, ooh, where did that come from? That was strange. I didn't enjoy that.
That's why I feel like La La Land, to me, I never think of it as a musical because it's so cohesive. And so, again, like, I commend you for creating this from the ground up as you know it's going to be a musical and you know what you want to say so clearly.
Yeah.
And that clarity of vision shines through, and it's awesome.
It's special.
Now, another favorite
The
of
other
mine.
one, yes.
Oh.
Another favorite. Aha!
Yeah, sorry, I like this one. And I'm not going to apologize for it.
And if I don't like it, I will be honest.
Yeah, and we'll talk about it.
And we'll dish it out.
The Greatest Showman.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Listen. Hold on.
Let's talk.
Let's talk. Let's chat.
I don't think it's a perfect movie.
And you know, it's not. but, okay, and also, I will tell you, I did tear up several times just from the sheer, like, I'm so overwhelmed by this. I think, what's the song? And we will come back home.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, that song just fills me with such, like, I just want to, like, I want to scream. It's just, I mean, that's what it's for. It's like we need to feel this cathartic just sense of, like let it out.
Yeah.
It's always going to be cathartic for the audience. And I feel like The Greatest Showman does such a fantastic job of making numbers that really make you feel like you need to break out of your shell, especially because that's what that's the plot.
Yeah.
The plot is all these people, they need to accept themselves, and that's something that's really hard, and it's like an egg cracking.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of the songs, it feels like it translates so well, and that's what the musical is for. So I think it's a great musical.
This is my crazy hot take. My experience with The Greatest Showman, I got the soundtrack from the library. I listened to it before I watched the movie. Yeah. And I think the music in that show is so good.
Yeah, it
like
really
it's
is.
so well written. Like that's a no skip like album, if
and
you
honestly,
want to call it an album soundtrack.
Yeah.
I think The Greatest Showman would be better as a stage musical. Like, my first thought when listening to this is, I'm like, I would rather watch this on stage. I want to see this on stage and be in the room and affected by these songs that are so hype and so beautiful. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And it may be crazy, but, like, I think it'd be a much better Broadway show than it would be a movie.
Like, isn't it getting adapted?
I thought so.
I heard something somewhere.
I hope so. Because I was freaking out when I heard that because I'm like, oh, they listened to me.
No, I mean, I can't imagine being in that theater
right
during some of those numbers.
Hearing
I feel
This
like
Is Me live.
I'm sorry. I think I would shit myself.
Yeah, it'd be awesome.
I feel like I would cry and like, and I love standing ovations in a theater.
Oh yeah.
I mean, when you just genuinely feel so moved, you have to get up.
Yes.
Perfect.
And like that's the thing. See, any Broadway producers listening, I think it's so commercially like available. It's so marketable. It's so easy to understand. Such a great volume of good numbers, like great high energy numbers, great ballads. Like it's right there. Just take it. Like do it.
True.
And I'm glad. If you want to consult me, please do. I have thoughts.
And here's twice already we've not mentioned him, but have mentioned him through his work. Zac Efron.
My king.
Yes.
Yes.
King. And in Him in Hairspray. And that's another, I don't really like Hairspray the musical. I love Hairspray the movie musical. I think the movie is so good. Like, excellent cast, I feel like.
That one's, that's a classic. Like,
Classic,
movie.
right?
That's like, I will say a movie musical is good if it's an adaptation, if it doesn't, like make it any worse.
True.
If that makes any sense. Like, I
Yeah.
had fun watching Hairspray, and I'm like, okay, this is
is
awesome.
good.
And, like, the cast is awesome. Shout out Christopher Walken again.
Oh,
in
yes.
Hairspray.
I forget.
It's awesome. And the music's so good.
Honestly. It's so good. It's so good, and Zach also makes an appearance there.
He does.
He has been doing a lot of movie musicals.
Right.
And he's fantastic. I think he's going to go down. Okay, there was a question at like a directors for actors meeting.
Mm-hmm.
And the question was, who do you think is going to go down as like one of the greats from Argenta? Don't. And I honestly was like, I feel like Zac Efron should, because especially with Iron Claw, he really brought us a whole different side to his
Tour
ability.
de force performance.
It's crazy. And I feel like if he just keeps on this path, I mean, there's no reason why he shouldn't. High School Musical was very fundamental.
It's a
for
good
me.
movie, and I'm tired of pretending like it's
I'm
not.
tired of pretending like it's not a masterpiece.
Mhm.
It's a great trilogy.
It is.
And the way the last one ends with them graduating and then the main cast walking forward and the curtains come out from nowhere. That's a spectacle. That's perfect. And then suddenly they're on stage and they take their final bow. And then when the camera literally goes and it's like they're each having their bow because it's just the shot on their face. Are you kidding me?
Tears.
Tears.
It's beautiful.
I do tear up. It's just, it's brilliant.
It is.
And I'm tired of pretending like it
it's
isn't.
not. Yeah. Very revolutionary episode today. And Ale, thank you so much
Of course.
for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me. This was so fun.
It's been fantastic.
Yes.
As we close, any final thoughts, feelings, opinions, plugs, musicals you're like, this is great, specifically movie musicals?
I think you should always give a musical a try. If you haven't seen High School Musical in forever, watch them all. They're freaking good. You won't regret it. And if you're in the Chicago area, come see Lottery Day in the winter and the
good.
Kaleidoscope Visitors in the spring.
Ooh,
You may see me.
it's possible.
You will. You will see me.
Heck yeah. Well, thank you all for another fantastic week. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I certainly did. Thank you again, Ale,
Of
for
course.
being here.
Thank you for having me. This
And
is fantastic.
yeah, have a great, very passionate week. We will be back next week with another episode.
Bye.
It'll be great. Bye-bye.
Music in.
You
And we covered a lot of ground.
We did. This thing isn't working. Oh, now it's working.